Excel is used by thousands of people every day, and most people, when they're asked, would say they're pretty good at it. But it's very easy for people to make small errors that can lead to a lot of trouble, or worse yet, make a mistake that'll get you fired. So let's take a look at some common Excel errors that get people in hot water and how to fix them. In no particular order, here we go. Mistake number 1 is not sorting a list properly. Here's a big mistake people make when they work with lists. Let's say you want to sort a particular column in a list, but they won't know that there's no need to select the entire list. Instead, they select just the column they want to sort. Then they'll go up, click on the sorting icon, only to be greeted by this dialog box from Excel asking them if they want to expand a selection or continue. Now here's where the trouble starts. They'll click on Continue with Selection Only because somewhere in the back of their mind, they're thinking that Excel will sort the entire list, but in reality, it's only sorting the column that was selected. Put another way, they think this dialog box is going to have Excel work against them, but that thinking is incorrect because Excel is trying to sort the entire list, which is the correct thing to do. So after they click Continue with Current Selection, they'll look at the column they initially selected, they'll then verify it was sorted, and they'll assume the rest of the list was sorted as well, but they don't realize it wasn't sorted. Now, they'll repeat this process several times over, and you can see that sorting individual columns as opposed to the entire list really screws things up. So now you have a messy list that you can't fix. Lucky you. So here's how you fix it, and you have a few options. Rule number 1 is that whenever you work with lists, you want to let Excel know where your column headings are. The easiest way to do this is to make them bold, so Excel will know where your column labels are versus the body of your list. In short, this just makes your life easier whenever you work with lists. Next, to sort your list, you want to click somewhere in the column you want to sort by, then go up and click on Data Sort. Excel will then sort all the rows, technically known as records, in your list by the column you clicked in. Option 2 is to create a table that has built-in sorting features that you can use. Mistake number 2, hard-coding numbers that change instead of referencing a specific cell. Best understood by way of example. What a lot of people do is type in a formula, then within that formula is a value that might change at some point in time. Say a tax rate, because tax rates never change, right? Sure. Anyhow, so everything is fine until the tax rate changes, but once the rate changes, now you have to dig through your entire spreadsheet to find all the cells that use that specific tax rate and change it for the new rate. Yeah, have fun with that. Furthermore, there's a very good chance you're going to miss a few of the cells you need to change, so now the whole sheet's messed up. To fix this, you have a few options. You can either use an absolute reference or a name, your choice. An absolute reference is when you take a cell and make it constant by pressing the F4 key. Think of it like dropping an anchor on a cell. That specific cell content will be locked in place. Another option is to create a name. And a name is just a label that you can put on a cell, and that label can then be used in a formula as a substitution for the cell reference. Either way, when you lock your cells in place, all you have to do is change the cell with a variable number, and all the formulas in which that variable is used will update automatically. This concept of locking down cell values also pertains to formulas that you drag down. What you want to do is lock down the cells that you don't want to move, and make sure you just don't drag and fill cells blindly with a formula, assuming Excel is going to get everything right with your formulas. Mistake number 3, broken links. All right, you've built a nifty spreadsheet that pulls in data or has links to other files, and everything is working smoothly. Until someone moves the source file, renames it, deletes it, or archives it. So depending on Excel's mood, it may quietly pull in the last known values so your numbers look like they're up to date, or Excel might have a straight-up tantrum about the links being broken and it can no longer find them. And of course, this is most likely to occur in front of management when it's never a good idea to show them information that's out of date. So to fix this, you might have to refresh your data to bring everything up to date, or you'll want to check your workbook links by clicking on Data, then Edit Workbook Links to make sure the links all point to the correct location. You can also edit them if need be. Mistake number 4, hiding data instead of deleting it. You see, some people get cutesy and try to hide or bury things, and they only end up deceiving themselves because the data can be very easily found. The classic example is to take a number, then change the font to white in an attempt to create the illusion of a blank cell. But you can still see the content in the formula bar, and it's also going to appear if you clear out the formatting from the entire sheet. Or they might even try to hide columns or hide rows in an attempt to hide their sensitive data. But it doesn't matter because the information is still there. So to fix this, you want to inspect the document and delete what needs to be deleted. But don't stop there. After you've done all that, don't trust Excel 100% to bail you out. Go back and check everything again, manually. Mistake number 5, unclean or messy data. If you work with lists, you probably learned the hard way that leading spaces, extra spaces, and trailing spaces can really mess everything up. Not to mention duplicate rows, any blank rows, incorrect formatting, and not breaking data into its smallest meaningful piece is a recipe for disaster. And to make things worse, most people will try to fix things by hand, which is beyond ridiculous and an exercise in futility. So the solution is to use or learn how to use Power Query, because that's one of its core functions, which is cleaning up messy data. Sure, it'll take you a little time to learn Power Query, but in the long run, it'll save you hours and help you avoid tons of aggravation. Mistake number 6, rounding versus formatting. This one is subtle yet powerful. You see, one of the biggest mistakes I see people make is they type in a number, then they go up and click on the decreased decimal icon, then they think the number is now rounded. Well, not quite. In reality, the number is actually formatted to display your digits in a specific way, and in Excel's world, there is a huge difference between formatted numbers and actual numbers. You see, whenever you click on these decimal icons, Excel will format or display the number differently, but it'll always use the actual number in any calculations, never the displayed number. Now, it may take you a little while to get your head around this concept because it took me a little bit, so give yourself a little time. To solve this, you have a few solutions to work with. We'll look at 2 of them. The first one is just to accept that Excel will always use actual numbers in any calculations, and just keep that in mind as best you can. The second is to use the round function. When you use the round function, you give Excel the green light to use the rounded number in any calculations, not the displayed number. For example, here's something that occurred when I was on a consulting project many years ago. The person I was speaking with kept wondering why his calculations were always off whenever he was trying to figure out the price he wanted to charge per square foot. So the solution was to use the round function to actually round the cell values up to 2 decimal spots, so his pricing would now be accurate. All right, and that's enough Excel mistakes for today. This list is in no way comprehensive, so if you have anything to add, please feel free to comment below. Else, I'm always cool with a like, share, or sub. And now, here's another suggested video for you.